Hello everyone, I'm Tim Hensel, wedding photographer extraordinaire, but really today I'm speaking to you not so much as a photographer, but just to try and give you a little bit of help and advice in planning your wedding, which if you're looking here then presumably is something you're thinking about. Now I did a video on the subject I'm going to talk about today, which is online wedding planning tools. I did a video on this a few years ago, which was based around Google's wedding planning tools. The spreadsheet, which is at the centre of that, you can see here. They have, however, sadly, discontinued this, it would seem. So while you can still see the spreadsheets, I haven't found a decent source that you can actually download them from, which is a shame because they were quite well put together, with formulae in that helped you calculate everything and so forth. And there was a whole suite of other tools which revolved around Google's platform. They've obviously decided that wedding planning is not important, which they're completely wrong about, obviously. So I've gone looking for an alternative. What I've come up with is this one, which is via Hitched. Now, if you're in the UK, like me, then you'll probably have come across Hitched at some point. There are a lot of wedding directories out there. This seems to me to be one of the better ones. I'm in no way affiliated with them, I should say, although I do list on there, as do a lot of other people in the wedding world. But they have a quite well designed online wedding planner, which you can get to here. I'm assuming at this stage you have registered and logged in, but you just click up here on my wedding planner, and that will take you straight over there. I say straight over there, my internet connection is being a bit rubbish today. I hope yours isn't. So there we go. I have put in, this is fictitious obviously, I'm already married, and obviously my wife would be quite upset if I got married again to someone else, so I'm not actually getting married on this date, but just to show you how to use it. So obviously put in my details, the wedding date, and so forth, and you can edit all of that here. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do is go in and set a budget. Now, because this is entirely fictitious, I was just playing with this earlier. So let's put in, obviously weddings come in all shapes and sizes, and I'm in no way advocating that you should go and spend loads of money on a wedding. Neither am I saying that if you want to have the best day of your life and spend a huge amount of money on it, I think that's wonderful as well. There we go. My fictitious budget I put in before was £1 million, which unfortunately I don't have. What it's done is it's broken down how you might spend the budget into the various different categories. Now, these are obviously all suggestions of what a lot of people do book for their weddings, but it doesn't mean, of course, that you have to. And you can go in and delete things that you think you're not going to use. For example, you can spend £80 on perfume. Well, I'm not. So let's delete that, and so forth. So you can go through there and work out how you want to break the budget down and where you want to spend the various allocated amounts of your money. I wouldn't pay necessarily too much attention to the suggested figures. Now these are, it obviously has an algorithm somewhere in the background which is breaking it down, allocating a certain percentage to cars and transport, and another percentage to flowers, and another percentage to the venue, and so on. I can't vouch for how accurate that breakdown is. I assume it's based on research and on perhaps what the norms might be, but don't go too much by what it says. Obviously, what Hitched are hoping you will do with the budget planner that they've built for you, the whole wedding planner really, is go in and search for whatever it was that you're looking for in those various categories, using their search engine, well, not their search engine, their directory. As I say, I'm not particularly advocating this directory over any others. I'm not associated with them, but in my opinion, it is a pretty good one, and a lot of suppliers do list here. Though cross-reference that with what you've been recommended and what you like, of course. Let's just have a quick look at this. Leeds Castle is super, and you can add it into your various shortlists and so forth there. So let's go back to the wedding planner. Not one of my photos, that, by the way. Wouldn't want to try to claim something that's not mine. You can see here back in the wedding planner home page, we just added that venue that we like the look of to the shortlist, and that comes up here in your shortlist section. So it all gets saved in this central location, which I think is quite nice. Now it's telling you to go and tell your friends on Facebook that you're getting married. Of course, entirely up to you, but it does have a suggestion here. And again, I'm waiting on my internet, which I apologise for. I've probably got too much stuff open. It's got a to-do list for you, and it's telling you when you might want to think about doing things. Again, this is based on I think pretty comprehensive research of when people actually do stuff. But don't feel bullied by a piece of software that this is when you've got to do stuff. But it does, planning a wedding is a complicated business, and it does provide a nice central point for that. So let's just tell it that we've done stuff. Hey, look, it likes me. That's nice. Let's pretend I've insured my engagement ring, shall we? So there we go. It starred this one. I think it sees that as a milestone task, i.e. something which is, of particular importance. And looking at these, I think that looks pretty accurate. I mean, you're going to want to be buying a wedding dress. Certainly, booking a photographer. I can agree with that. And you can see what you've done so far. Telling you to celebrate your engagement. It's important you don't forget to have fun. So thanks Hitched for that. Let's go back and have a look at what else we've got in here. So let's just have a quick look and see if we can find my listing. That's not really what we're here to talk about, obviously, but nevertheless, obviously always were lots of photographers. Make sure you choose well. I'm not necessarily saying you want to choose me. Of course you do. But yeah, choose a good one. So let's just put that in our shortlist, shall we? And see what's what. Back to my wedding planner. Go straight into the shortlists. And there I am, so that's nice. What else have we got? Favourites we've looked at. Guest manager. Let's have a look in here. Okay, so there are obviously a lot of different ways to list out all the guests who you are going to be inviting to your wedding, back of an envelope, that sort of thing. This is quite good because you can add people to it quite easily, and then actually put their details in, which makes it quite easy to see which parts of the day they've been invited to, whether or not they've replied, and so on. And you can actually download that as an Excel spreadsheet. So you've got a hard copy of it. benefit of doing it online, of course, is that you can then log into this from your phone or your tablet as well as on your computer, or your partner can, and you can go in and edit it on the go, and so forth. Basically, if you're the bride, you can go in and take out all the people that he's put in, and put in the people you want to invite. I understand that's how these things work. So let's get back here. Table planner. This is really good. You can actually add things to the plan, and see how they're gonna work out, how they might fit together. And you can add other stuff here, the bar, the DJ, so forth. And plan out your room. Adjust the size and shape of it there. And make notes. Change for all the different sorts of table, number of seats and whatever. Actually a very powerful tool. Mood boards. So as it says, this is a way to, we kind of looked at this earlier with inspiration. You can add in all your ideas into one place, which is what they call a mood board, which is a term I think probably from people who work in advertising, and really just try to get a feel of what you want your wedding not just to look like, but to feel like as well. So there you can add in photos that you've liked, search by included colours. I'm not going to do that now, but you can see how that might work. And finally, gift lists, which I know some people do still use, probably not as much as they used to. And these are the various companies which I assume have listed their services on Hitched, which doesn't necessarily mean that they are the only shops or companies which will do this. But you can actually go in here and set up a gift list, so people can give you exactly what it is you want. You can see all the exciting stuff that I've been looking at on Amazon here. Okay, so let's just go back home to the wedding planner home, and you can see that we've started to put this together now. And then you can see where you've got to, where you're up to, and what you might like to do next. So it's a really good tool for helping to pull everything in your wedding together. I mean, I feel strongly, and I always have, that a wedding should be really about you and an expression of the pair of you as a couple, and be the day that you want it to. So you don't necessarily want to treat a tool like this as the gospel. This is how it's done. This is what you've got to do. I don't see it as that. But there's an awful lot to think about in planning a wedding, and if you've got an online resource that you can use as a starting point and to help you keep track of everything, that to me can only be a good thing. So I hope you found this video to be of some use, and I was going to say I'll look forward to seeing you later. Of course, I probably won't see most of you. Obviously, if you haven't booked a photographer and you're in the UK somewhere, I would love to hear from you. But it's important you go and choose who's right for you. So anyway, my name's Tim Hensel from Tim Hensel Photography, and I thank you for watching my video. See you soon. Bye.